And I noticed that you mentioned you're having a guest talking about root canals. That's a show that everyone needs to listen to because root canals are almost the cause of about 2/3 of what walks in the door from people that have been to 5 different doctors and no one knows how to fix them. But I'll let your show on Friday talk to that.
Yeah, that's Dr. Gerald Smith, and he's doing a lot of great work on root canals. And I've got a root canal myself, and I'm in the process of figuring out how to get rid of that in a safe and effective way.
You need to pull the tooth. If you've got a tooth that was able to die, the secret is not to embalm it and leave it in your mouth. The secret is to pull it and clean out the socket. Because what happens is you get an autoimmune reaction against the chronic infection that the root canal causes. And that's the cause of most of the things that we deal with. And the way to treat it is small amounts fix what large amounts cause. If you have a known problem, you use a dilution of it, and it triggers the immune system to undo the problem. And you not only have to use the same thing that you find, you use something similar to it. That's the secret of homeopathy.
Okay.
We can talk about.
And just one more thing on the root canals. Have you heard that there's some sort of lowering of the immune system just by having one root canal? I believe I forget what percentage it lowers your immune system, but it's an incredible amount, isn't it?
Well, let me just tell you that, I see the path reports from the removal of the infections that are underneath the root canals. I mean, they find as many as 12 or 13 different bacteria and viruses in a root canal tooth.
Wow.
And when the immune system is being challenged to fight 12 or 13 different infections, that lowers and destroys your immunity tremendously. And that's where a lot of chronic illness comes from.
Wow.
And the thing is, you need to then go to the next level. Every tooth in your mouth sits on a different acupuncture meridian. And all the teeth in your mouth, I have a chart in my office that was created by Dr. Vole, who's one of the heroes in our world. He passed away probably in the 1950s, but he's one of the fathers of the fields of integrative medicine. I mean, every tooth is connected to a different organ. And I have people that come in and they tell me their problem, and I say, do you have any root canals in your mouth? And I got to tell you that 80% of them will say, yep, I got one. And I say, which tooth? I said, wait, let me tell you which tooth. I said, what's wrong with you? And then we go in and we look at the chart, and it turns out they're having liver problems. So the third tooth from the midline is called your eye teeth or your liver teeth. And you go in there and you find out they either have a cavity or a root canal in that tooth. Mercury fillings are almost as bad as root canals, and they have corroded fillings. And we do a process in our office called thermograms, which is a heat-sensing imaging device. And you look on the thermogram and you see that they've got a red or a hot spot right where that root canal is, and that's when you send the patient to a biological dentist. I mean, the guy you're having on the show, if he really calls himself a biological dentist, is part of an elite fraternity of only about 100 of them. And that's how many there are in the whole United States.
Yeah,
they're miracle workers, a lot of them, and they help a lot of people.
I went to go see Dr. Stuart Nunley out in Marble Falls, Texas, a while back, and he's a really good biological dentist. And we're also due to have I forget what his name is, a dentist who's Dr. Bob Dowling out of Ecuador, and he's doing a lot of connections with root canals and stuff. But I wanted to talk about you.
Let me just tell you. Let me just give you some other names. I mean, we have 2 dentists in Phoenix that are past presidents of the association that they all belong to. Dr. Michael Margolis and Dr. Nicholas Myers. They were presidents back to back, one year after the next. And Dr. Margolis is a close friend of mine, and I've never had a root canal, but I ended up having wisdom teeth extracted that created what's called cavitation infections, which is what you get from root canals. And it like lowered my blood pressure. It was on my very back teeth, which are the teeth connected to the acupuncture meridian that goes to your heart. And it changed my life. It really, really did, just by cleaning out a socket of a tooth that had been allowed to fester and cause a jawbone infection. They're very, very